Buenos días, good morning everyone, and welcome to ¿Qué Pasa? Aquí en el Mexicano. Yo soy su amigo de siempre, Fernando Zápari, aquí en ¿Qué Pasa? Con nuestro gran amigo, el Chancellor de la Universidad IPFW de aquí de Fort Wayne, Michael Wartell. Thank you so much for your time. It's a great honor.
It's my pleasure.
And Chancellor, I know you're leaving as a Chancellor. Most people think that you are leaving Fort Wayne to moving elsewhere. Tell us your future plans after.
Well, I can't tell you precisely what my plans are, but right now my plans are not to leave Fort Wayne. I'm a professor at IPFW, and I can stay as a professor at IPFW, and right now I intend to do that. But it's funny, if there's any place I'd move, I still own a house in New Mexico, so I could move back to Albuquerque really fairly easily. I do not intend to do that right now.
What did you enjoy more about your term as a Chancellor of IPFW?
Well, I've always loved doing what I'm doing right now, the interaction with the students, with the folks who work at IPFW, the faculty, the staff are very rewarding, and building a university is something that's very exciting.
Chancellor, tell us a message to the new kids born to the new wave of immigrants. I'm talking about kids from Central America, from Mexico, from the Caribbean, kids from Bosnia, kids from Burma. Tell us, what would you tell them about IPFW?
Well, wherever you come from, when you decide to go to college, and I think it's always a great choice to get higher education and go to college, you have to realize that it's different. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but you have to be persistent about it. There's nothing that will reward you more than getting more education. And so developing a goal, like getting a bachelor's degree, and then being really persistent, really dogged in your pursuit of that goal, I think is the best advice I can give you. Don't let little things stand in your way. Don't let little things deter you from getting that degree.
You told us that education needs to be a family affair. So talk about persistence. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the idea of education as a family affair has always been a part of what I believe. Your family supports you. And since getting an education isn't the easiest thing in the world, that family support is very, very important. And so emotionally, intellectually, in every way possible, financially isn't the easiest thing in the world for a lot of people to do, to give financial support. But to support your student as the family, both emotionally and intellectually, is very important.
Menudo.
Menudo.
Elotes en vaso, flan. Stores, Mexican stores. You seem to be pretty familiar with all of these things. And tell us where you like to go and enjoy a good taco or a good menudo or maybe some bread. And this is not a commercial, by the way, so we can talk about all the places that you like. Talk about Goshen, how you like. Your wife grew up in Goshen.
Yes, my wife grew up in Goshen, but I grew up in New Mexico, so I have passing acquaintance with the kind of food that comes from south of the border. And Fort Wayne and the environs have an incredible array of possibilities for that kind of food. You mentioned my wife grew up in Goshen. When we came here in 1993, originally, there were not many choices in terms of Mexican or Hispanic restaurants or grocery stores. And now it has just blossomed, and we were talking about Goshen. There are Mexican grocery stores right across the street from each other.
That's right.
Which is just incredible. In terms of eating in Fort Wayne, there are any number of family-run restaurants, from Las Lomas to Los Portales to El Michoacana, to the bakery next door to, is it La Michoacana or
La Michoacana?
Yes, La Michoacana.
La Michoacana.
Yeah.
You had some menudo.
Oh yeah, I had menudo there. That's true. But the possibilities for getting that kind of food are just amazing, and the food is very, very good. In fact, I don't remember whether it was when La Michoacana was there or not, or whether it was the previous owner. But I walked in there one day and they said, "Oh, we've just roasted a goat."
Oh.
And they had goat meat, which you just don't find everywhere, and it was wonderful.
Okay, Chancellor, you talk about an event that touched your life as a kid. You was a great marble player, or you was a good marble player?
I was a good marble player. I wasn't a great marble player.
And you also had pretty good, you was pretty good at playing yo-yo. But you told us about your father once taking you to a city marble tournament. Tell us what happened. How did he impact you? Maybe because you won the gold medal, maybe because you were first place. Tell us
I didn't win,
okay.
But the most important part of that experience was that I had qualified for the citywide marble tournament, and my father took me to it, and I watched the other participants practice, and I turned to my father and I said, "Those guys are better than I am," and he turned to me and said, "Well, then you've already lost. We may as well go home now." And I've never forgotten that. You can't go into any situation with a losing attitude, and that's I think that has guided a part of my life, a major part of my life.
Chancellor, again, thank you very much. Muchas gracias for your time. Thank you so much for what you have done for IPFW, for the citizens of Fort Wayne, and for these wonderful students from all over the world. IPFW has grown to be one of the most, better. I always say the best university in the world, okay, period. Not just in Fort Wayne or in Indiana. It's the best, numero uno.
I'll say numero uno in Northeast Indiana.
Okay, and thank you for all your efforts. Thank you for what you have done, and thank you so much for your time with us at Mexicano News.
My pleasure.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Esto fue un segmento más de ¿Qué pasa? Aquí para el Mexicano News TV.com. Yo soy su amigo de siempre, Fernando Zápari. Muchas gracias por su atención. Thank you.